All right, it's the beginning of the week, and I only went to 2 garage sales this weekend, both of which I didn't stop at because when I got into the neighborhood, I immediately remembered that these are houses that have garage sales every single weekend as soon as it's over 40 degrees, it seems. And, well, I've never had good luck in the past, so passed those by and went to an estate sale where I waited in line for about an hour, and then I walked out with only one item. So this estate sale had some incredible items. And on the first day, I think I was number 7 to get into the house, and they only let in 10 at a time. And I went through the whole house, I looked at all the stuff I wanted, and the prices were just too much. So I found this thing for $5, and this is an FX Matte Brewing Company snow globe. They only made it for 1 year, I believe, and unfortunately, you can see it's like separating here at the bottom, and that seems to be a characteristic with these snow globes. I think they made 2, maybe 3 different versions of it, but I only paid $5 for this thing, and they sell from anywhere between $200 and $300, and I believe I'm the only one listed, or only one that has one of these listed currently. So when I came back in the second day, everything else was still there. And I said, listen, you guys willing to work with me if you want to take a walk into the basement? Let's go over all the stuff that I want. And there's a bunch of stuff that's not on camera that I already have listed. But I was able to buy, well, everything, obviously. It's sitting right here. And then I found this. So this was sitting underneath a workbench in the garage in a box, and nobody found it. Now, it's not Hudson Bay or Pendleton. It's actually, I don't know how you say it. Is it Faribault? Fluff loom, 100% wool. It's got 3 stripes. It's got a green, yellow, and a red. It doesn't bring the price that a Hudson Bay or a Pendleton would bring, but based on the condition of this one, I'm guessing it's about 80 to $100 on a good day. I'm really close to the Adirondack Mountains, and something I see all the time are Adirondack baskets and snowshoes like that. But one snowshoe, well, this pair here, I've never seen it before, and I had to do a little bit of research, and to the best of my knowledge, these are actually from World War II and were used by the 10th Mountain Division, possibly in Italy. And you can see, I don't know how good it's going to show up. Right here, it says US 1942. And then down here, it says a number. This one says 431. They actually both say 431, which apparently is a good thing to have a matching set, which means that one of these wasn't damaged and replaced or swapped out or mismatched or something down the line. Now, these were called, I believe, emergency shoes, and they were meant to be very lightweight, carried in a backpack, so they wouldn't have had bindings like this. They would have had maybe like some extra rawhide that would have wrapped around your shoes. So I'm guessing these bindings were just added at some point down the line. I can't be 100% sure, but this one here, unfortunately, you can see it's warped pretty good. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to ask for these or if I want to keep them because I do like to keep lots of stuff. See, there's the brand right there. I think it says Fallen or Phelan. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but these are very interesting. Like I said, something I've never seen before. The other shoes here are Henry Ross Limiteds, and these are fairly rare, and they are collectible. See right there, it's got the Henry Ross Limited sticker. I'm not exactly sure how to age these, but I do know that they produced snowshoes between 1860 and 1910, so they're over 100 years old, and you can tell in the leather here, it's pretty stiff. And this one, unfortunately, it's missing. You can see it's torn off right there, so some of the leather's missing. But the clips, although a little bit rusty, they've got like a little boat anchor on them, which I thought was pretty interesting. So yeah, not sure entirely what these are worth. I want to say there's one set on eBay that's in very good condition. I think they're asking around $275, but there are no records of any being sold within the past 3 years. But something like this would, this is what people around here decorate their cabins with. They hang these up on the wall. The last set of snowshoes here has a really cool look to them. Nice dark wood. It looks a lot different than most of the snowshoes that I see around here. This one's got a label that's pretty rough over here, but it's also got the size stamped on the side, which you'd normally see in these snowshoes. The bindings are all complete. I don't know if they're the original bindings or not. I'm going to guess that they are. I do have to do some more research on these. And then this one labels a little bit better condition, and I think is it Penobscot? I don't know if I'm butchering that or not. But when I looked these up, I only found one set that sold on eBay over the past 3 years, and it went for $125 plus shipping. So I'm not entirely sure if I want to list these. I'll probably list them higher and see where they go, because I don't think there's any currently listed. And these are quite collectible as well, this brand right here. So I may start them high and go from there. See what kind of offers I get on them. Looking at the Adirondack pack basket or trapper's basket, this one's going to require a little bit more work to figure out, when exactly it was made. So if anyone watching this knows anything about these, please leave me something in the comments. Let me know what you think when this is from. I'm guessing it's early 20th century, maybe, based on a few different things. If you look at the weaving, there's some variations in the width, some damage here, unfortunately. But I'm guessing this could have been, cut by hand and not cut by a machine and then hand assembled. The hardware, I'm hoping I can get maybe maybe a number or something off of that, but I doubt it. It's in really good shape for the age. All the hardware here, it's not completely rusted out. The top piece here, you can see the wood right here where it's cut, the rim that goes around the top. That also makes me think this could be an early piece. So I don't know, 20s, maybe 30s. Straps are really nice in the back. There's a cutout right here that I'm not entirely sure what that's from. There's some green markings here and then over here. Some of these would have had a top on them, like a solid, like a wood top that would fold shut, but the hinges would have been, I believe, nailed or somehow attached over here, and there's no evidence of that being there. The fishing baskets that look similar to this are much smaller, and they'd have a woven top that folds over with a little square cutout for the fishing poles to stick up on the top. Now on the bottom, looks a little bit different, and some of them I saw had like a strip of wood going down here and down here so that you can set it down, it would rest on the wood and it wouldn't damage this as quick. But again, I'm no expert on these, but based on what I've seen on eBay for a very similar piece, my best guess is that this is probably going to be worth somewhere between $200 to $250. But like I said, if anyone knows anything about these, please leave me a comment down below. Carnival glass isn't something I typically get into, but when I found this thing, I had to have it. It's 12 inches tall. It's got a 4.5-inch round base. There's no marking on it, but it looks like it could be Northwood. I don't know if they ever made these and did not mark them on the bottom, but you can see it looks black here. But when you shine a light through, it's actually purple. Really cool looking piece. It's got some manufacturing defects in it right here, but very, very interesting looking. And I listed this pretty high at $274.99, and I actually just got a message from somebody that asked me not to lower the price anymore because they were interested in purchasing this, hopefully very soon. If you've been following the channel long enough, you know I can't say no to a good lantern. Now, I don't collect railroad lanterns, so these are going to get sent on their way once I clean them up. These are pretty standard clear globe NYCS New York Central System. See, it says New York USA right there as well. If they're a more rare lantern, if they've got like a red globe or a blue globe, I'll probably keep them. But something like this, I typically don't keep. But what you want to be on the lookout for when you buy these, where you put the oil on the bottom here, sometimes you'll fill them up and you'll get them working and they work great. And a couple days goes by and you'll see like some puddling underneath them of some oil. And these can develop pinholes down here. So something to be on the lookout for. It's very hard to spot these pinholes sometimes. And I've had a few of them that were hanging up and I didn't even realize it. And there's a whole mess of oil underneath them later on down the road. But these most likely, once they're cleaned up, this one's got a little bit of rust on the top and a dent. So this one will bring a little bit less money. Probably going to get between $50 and $65 each for these lanterns. All right, let's take a look at some of the what solds here. Now, the ephemera store I'm not going to go over because it's, well, crickets. And last week I think my payout was like $15. So ephemera store is not going to retire on that one, but that's okay. The inventory takes up literally a file cabinet drawer and a banker's box right now, and that's it. So once I find some more ephemera down the road, we'll start talking about that a little more, and I'll get it listed. But moving on to another store here. Just recently, in a pile of old toys out of a pick that I went to about a week or so ago, I found a little gray shield with an orange backer behind it for He-Man, and that piece just sold for $19.99 plus shipping. I had a Coleman lantern accessory safe. It's a little metal tin that bolts onto the bottom of a Coleman lantern, and I was going to keep it for my own collection, but it wasn't in that great a shape, so I decided to send it on down the road. It came with a wrench, the original gasket for it, and I let it go for, was this an offer? I think I took an offer of $20 plus shipping. Couple pieces here that have been sitting for a long time that sold. The Toy Max laser tag. It had the two guns and the two receivers that you'd strap onto your chest here. I had, I think, 3 or 4 guns originally that I picked up last year at a garage sale, and I just didn't get around to testing them. They sat in my death pile forever, and 2 out of the whole pile ended up working. And that didn't go for an offer, but I think I had a discount set up, and they went for $21.24 plus shipping. Another game has been sitting for a long time. Dark Castle for Sega Genesis. This was one of those taller cartridges with a little yellow tab on the side. It ended up selling just the other day for $11.72 plus shipping. So another piece out of that. So the private pick I went on the other day, the He-Man shield sold from that one, and this rooster just sold. So I think it's like it was an 18-inch tall rooster. I'll put a photo up of it. And I saw it hanging in the kitchen. I had to have it because it just looked bizarre. I listed it for $100, shot in the dark. I didn't think it was going to sell. And it only took a couple of days, and it went for $70 plus shipping. Another piece out of that house that sold. I had a whole case, about half a case of 1977 Ronald McDonald. I think they were the Action Series glasses. These were all Ronald McDonald glasses. And I listed them individually. Basically, one listing with like a whole bunch of them in there. And one glass, a single glass, sold for $6.99 plus shipping. From the state sales I went to, my wife and I took off to out east a little bit, hour and a half away or so. And the one house paid off, well, pretty good, because I sold the DR trimmer mower cutting head assembly. It was a new old stock piece, and it sold for $100 plus shipping. And that pays for everything that I bought that day. So that's good news. So the rooster was a mid-century piece, and I sold these salt and pepper shakers here that are mid-century kind of Danish. They got a Danish modern look to them. They're stainless and wood. They sat in my pile. There's a drawer down here I throw smalls into, and I just forget about them. And I decided to finally list them, and they went for $17.99 plus shipping. Another piece that sat in a death pile for a long time, and I finally said, let's get rid of it. Fostoria Heirloom Pink Opalescent Handkerchief Bowl. It's like a big pink art glass bowl, something or other. It looked cool. I think my wife picked this up at a garage sale early spring last year for like $3. And it sat in a cabinet out in the back with a bunch of whole glass and whatever. I said, let's get rid of this thing. So I listed it, and it sold for $21.67 plus shipping. So the next pieces that sold, these were really cool, and I priced them high because I didn't want to sell them, but I took an offer of a good chunk off of the offer here because this person actually bought both of them. So on the private pick I went to about a week or so ago, I picked up these Project Apollo coffee mugs from the Kennedy Space Center, most likely from the 60s or 70s. It's shaped like the actual pod from the Apollo missions, and I was the only one on eBay at the time that had these listed in this particular style. There's a different one that has a little more detail to it. I'm not sure if it was earlier or later, but I priced mine at $150 a piece, and I took an offer of $115 for one, and also $115 for the second, because somebody wanted to buy both. So they were willing to buy both. I was willing to work with them a lot on the price. So $230 plus shipping for 2 Project Apollo coffee mugs. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.